Today we are talking about Madagascar on PlayStation 2, released by Activision and developed by Toys for Bob. This game was also released on Windows, Xbox, and GameCube. The Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS also have a game called Madagascar, but it's a different game from a different developer and will not be covered in this video. So yeah, this game is a platformer most of the time, but the flow of this game is divided up into really short segments that all feel different from each other. You are usually playing as one of the four main animals, Marty the zebra, Alex the lion, Gloria the hippo, or Melman the giraffe, but there are also other short parts where you will play as the penguins, the lemurs, and other animals. That's the game. It's a mashup of short segments that are part of a bigger game. Also, this game did well enough that it got a Greatest Hits edition. Before we talk about gameplay, let's take a look at my copy of the game. This case is in nice shape and it has the instruction manual. These were the two things that I looked at when I decided to purchase this copy. Later, after I got the copy home, I realized they stuck a Greatest Hits edition of the disc inside the case instead of the black label version that I was trying to buy. I also noticed later on that the manual had a page torn out of it, but that's on me. I should start flipping through the manuals before I purchase. I need to keep a better eye on game stores. This is not the first time I've been given the wrong version of the disc. I also noticed in the back of this manual that Brady Games made a strategy guide for this. It blows my mind what games get strategy guides sometimes. When you first jump into this game, you start out as Marty the zebra, who must go and break his friends out of the zoo. This game has different abilities for each character that can be unlocked by finding power cards in sets of 3. Right here at the beginning of the game, Marty must collect the first 3 cards to unlock his kick ability. Using this ability, you can break down the gates around the zoo and move on to meet Alex the lion. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. I enjoy the stage design here a lot. Again, you gather 3 power cards and this time unlock Alex's double jump ability. After jumping through some rings and scaring away some pigeons, we go back to playing as Marty and work our way towards Gloria the hippo, where we take control of this character in a race against ostriches. While running, if Gloria eats the chilies along the path, she'll get a long speed boost. These Gloria running parts can be frustrating, but this game lets you try again as many times as you want when you fail. We then move on to penguin fishing. This part of the game can be a little bit frustrating, but it's short and you always have unlimited tries. After this, we play as the final member of the force, Melman the giraffe. Another very short segment of the game, we learn to use his spin attack by cleaning up his cage with it. This completes the first area and we are taken to the stage selection screen. In the second stage, you play as Marty breaking out of the zoo. Here you learn his next skill, the sneak ability. With this and the kick move, you go around distracting and knocking out guards to escape the horrors of the New York City Zoo. When you get to the third stage, you get to spend more time with some of the other characters and learn some new moves like Melman's helicopter spin and Gloria's butt bounce. This butt bounce move is what got the game an E10 rating instead of just an E rating. The game continues to play in these short segments like this for a long time, but eventually you make it to the back to the beach stage where it becomes a little bit of an open world area. Instead of doing short segments with each animal, you have 10 items to find, most of which require a specific character to access, but you have to figure out which character to use, which is not always easy. This stage was frustrating the first time I played it, but it's not a bad stage. There are some parts that could have used a little bit more work, like there's this boulder right here with a sign pointing toward it with Gloria's face. This is to let you know that you need Gloria to break down this boulder, but behind the boulder is a stage that has to be played with a different animal, even though a sign showing Gloria is still pointing at it. This is one of the areas where the game loses some points. This game does have its problems. For example, I fell through the stage a couple of times, causing me to have to restart entire segments due to glitches. Some of the minigame segments are frustrating and based more on luck than skill, like the notorious Collect the Fruit game. This part of the game is bad. Segments like this are why some controllers have wrist straps, as you'll be fighting the urge to throw them. I get mad just watching this part. Again though, you have unlimited lives and should be able to get through this sooner or later. Eventually you make your way to the final boss, Fusa. Using Alex and his new attack move, you go through 3 stages of battle. First you fight off his minions, then you get to a platforming area where you throw mangoes at him, and finally the one-on-one battle where you dodge attacks and wait for the right moment to strike. It doesn't take long to beat this game. If you keep pushing through and don't get distracted by side quests, arcades, and minigames, you can probably beat this entire game in under 6 hours with little to no experience playing it before. There is more to this game that can be unlocked through purchasing things like outfits, extras, and minigames from the souvenir shop. These extras are a nice touch, but are definitely aimed at the child audience. They do bring some multiplayer to the game though, which would otherwise be missing. The golf game can be extremely frustrating, but it isn't bad. The Lemur Rave minigame is a basic rhythm game, very skippable. And finally there's the shuffleboard game. You can't play this game solo, there's no AI character to play against, so I only took a quick peek at this. It looks fun. While doing research for this video, I found this review on Amazon that says, "My son loves this game. We rented it first from Blockbuster and now he won't let us take it back. So I ordered it from Amazon.com so I can take the game back soon to Blockbuster. I have to help him through some of the areas like when the penguin is fishing, but I don't mind because it's fun." I think this Amazon review does a really good job of summing up the game, but I'm mostly confused about the Blockbuster thing. Was there still one open in 2006? So that's it. It's a pretty solid game, but it has its flaws. It's short, but the replay value is good. The minigames add a little bit to the overall appeal of the game, but are mostly for children. The platforming is mostly good, but has a few flaws like Marty's dash jump can be hard to aim, or Melman's helicopter spin being difficult to line up with the air gusts sometimes. Ultimately, the game is fun. 7 out of 10. Would Madagascar again. In fact, I see that the second Madagascar game was also developed by Toys for Bob. If I run into Madagascar 2 at a store, I'll definitely pick it up. Toys for Bob has an interesting line of games, all the way back to Star Control, their first game, up to Skylanders, their newest set of games. They also did a game called Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure, which I did a video about. Put a link to it right here on my face you can click on. Click on it. On my face. Watch the video on my face.